Welcome back to War Tech Talk, Eastern Circle's podcast on military technology, innovation, its battlefield application in Ukraine, and geopolitical impact. I'm Anastasia Shabatkina, president of Eastern Circle's think tank in Paris.
And I'm Elitsa Gadeva, journalist and editor of this podcast. In today's episode, we are diving into deep waters.
That's right. We'll talk about the evolution and impact of maritime drones in Ukraine.
We'll explore how these unmanned systems have transformed naval warfare, touch on some important historical developments, and highlight their role in the ongoing war in Ukraine.
To start, let's rewind a bit. After the fall of the Soviet Union, when Ukraine and Russia divided the Soviet Black Sea Fleet, Ukraine was left with a significantly weakened naval presence. Ukraine's navy was largely outdated, consisting mostly of Soviet-era ships and some land-based infrastructure from the late 90s. It was further weakened after Russia expropriated more ships from Ukraine's part of the Black Sea Fleet following the 2014 annexation of Crimea, particularly the occupation of Sevastopol. At the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022, Ukraine found itself with little to no fleet to talk about.
That's right, the situation was dire. Despite the human courage which impressed the world with the now world-famous image of the Ukrainian Coast Guard of Zmyny Island showing the middle finger to an invading Russian Navy ship in February 2022, Ukraine's navy did not have the technology to resist Russia's fleet.
But only at first. Fast forward to 2024, and the situation could not be more different. After opening the grain export corridor in NATO territorial waters, Ukraine disabled or destroyed one-third of the Russian fleet by mid-2024, returning the freedom of commercial navigation in the Black Sea and forcing the remainder of the Russian fleet to withdraw to Russian ports, mainly to Novorossiysk. This remarkable turnaround by a country without a navy became possible thanks to Ukrainian naval drones.
To understand why sea drones have become crucial for Ukraine's naval forces, we need to first understand what naval drones or UMVs are. There are various types of naval drones for patrol, reconnaissance, mine countermeasures, and attack purposes deployed together with aerial drones. Ukraine's naval drones are the only systems of this kind in the world which have been successfully tested at sea in war conditions. Designed to detonate upon impact with an enemy ship, they have a fairly simple design, combining unconventional engineering mix of jet skis with a detonation system.
Since 2022, Ukraine has developed 3 generations of maritime drones, each one more advanced than the last.
Generation 1 drones were the first to make a significant impact. Equipped with a water cannon engine and a Starlink control system, these drones could reach a speed of up to 110 km per hour. They were designed to carry an explosive warhead activated upon impact. Mykola is an example of a Generation 1 model. Notably, in October 2022, these drones were used in conjunction with UAVs to attack Russian ships in Sevastopol, including the frigate Admiral Makarov.
Magura V5 is a Generation 2 drone. The acronym stands for Maritime Autonomous Guard Unmanned Robotic Apparatus V-type, while some sources attribute the name to Slavic mythology. Magura V5 featured improved hydrodynamic bodies, up to 300 kg warheads. It is a multi-purpose naval drone, doing reconnaissance, patrolling, surveillance, detection and destruction of naval mines, protection, search and rescue operations, and destruction of enemy ships. The producer is not public, and the naval drones are the most guarded secret of the Ukrainian government today. But in the digital age, it's hard to keep secrets, even when they are military ones. So in November 2023, an intact Ukrainian naval drone was recovered by Russian forces off the Crimean coast. Through open source investigation of the images, more details emerged. For example, the body construction made out of carbon fabric and epoxy resin is similar to that of UAVs. Communication is facilitated by 2 Starlink antennas and a US-made Cometa satellite communication antenna. A dual SIM cellular GPS allows access to the internet when the vessel is close to the shore. To resist spoofing and jamming, sea drones rely on the electronic warfare like other drones do.
These technicalities help understand why Magura has been so effective hitting much more expensive and technologically sophisticated targets. This drone is designed to work in groups of 5 or 6 to confuse and overwhelm enemy defenses. This way, the leading drone immobilizes the target and the others attack the midships. It played a key role in attacks on the Russian reconnaissance ship Ivan Kurs and the Navy ship Priazovye.
In May 2023, Ivan Kurs was performing a mission 120 kilometers northeast of the Bosphorus Strait. At first, bad weather was in the way of the Maguras. When they were finally dispatched, there were frequent breaks in communication. Once close to the ship, the drones had to keep their distance because of the ship's weapons that were aiming at them. The USVs followed the ship for about 6 hours, almost running out of fuel. And then the attack took place. We don't know how many drones were involved, and according to the Russians, the attack failed. But a video published by Ukraine shows that even though at least 2 drones were shot, one definitely struck the ship, causing severe damage.
The Magura drones also struck the Sergei Kotov ship on 2 occasions, in July and September 2023, damaging the ship before finally sinking it in March 2024. Numerous ships were damaged and 28 destroyed by the Magura sea drones.
And then we have Generation 3, the Sea Baby drones. They were developed after the Security Service of Ukraine, the SBU, turned away from Magura and decided to instead work on its own version. They are larger than Magura to accommodate up to 850 kilograms of explosives. They have been used in high-profile attacks, such as the strikes on the Kerch Bridge and the amphibious assault ship Olenegorski Gornyak.
Unlike the SBU's multi-purpose Sea Baby, however, the Magura was developed to solely be a hunter or killer drone, seek out and destroy warships at sea.
By looking at the evolution of sea drones through the 3 generations, we observe a leap in technical capability. The Sea Baby's design and its use of rocket launchers, for example, increase its offensive power, allowing the greater damage to enemy equipment and manpower.
And there are some more names worth mentioning here. For instance, the Toloko TLK-150 is a small underwater drone that operates like a loitering torpedo designed for stealth and precision. Similarly, the Stalker 5.0, revealed at the Black Sea Security Forum in 2024, combines reconnaissance with payload delivery, offering a range of up to 600 kilometers.
And let's not forget the Marichka, a crucial addition to Ukraine's maritime arsenal, a large autonomous underwater vehicle tailored for various missions, including anti-ship and intelligence gathering.
Floating bombs and surface drones have become the flagship innovation of Ukrainian drone industry. The result is the end of the prospects of Russian Black Sea blockade, going down as textbook case study for navies across the world.
Naval drones are also part of a live demonstrator of ongoing innovation of Ukrainian military industry, with an incubation period of 6 to 8 weeks. This means that these drones are upgraded every 2 months to respond to the needs on the front.
But marine drones in Ukraine face many challenges. For instance, they can be vulnerable to dense barrage fire. We've seen that potential solutions might include adapting drones to briefly dive before striking, which could reduce their visibility and increase the chances of a successful attack.
Another area of improvement is the activation system of the impact fuses. Adding an electronic initiator controlled by the operator could help mitigate risks and enhance reliability. But now let's turn back to impact.
influence of these drones extends beyond Ukraine. They've been an example of how smaller naval forces can effectively challenge larger ones, forcing traditional naval powers to reconsider their strategies and investments. The Pentagon's billion-dollar Replicator initiative, aimed at deploying large numbers of air and naval drones, shows the global shift in marine drone use.
While previously we saw these drones as deterrents, useful for different actors, like Taiwan during potential Chinese aggression, their effectiveness is now expanding, and we can see all of that unfolding in front of our eyes in Ukraine. That's exactly what Miltech geeks would call wartime creativity.
Ukraine's rapid technological advancements have set a new standard for naval warfare. Yes, the early days were tough, but Ukraine's innovative use of drones, commercial satellite imagery, and off-the-shelf technology reduced and eventually neutralized the Russian Black Sea Fleet.
It's clear we are witnessing a new era in maritime and more generally drone warfare.
Thank you for tuning in. This was War Tech Talk.
Until next time. Research by Darina Marina Batyuk, production and editing by Lica Gadeva and Anastasia Shapachenko.